Hi.
Hi, hold on, let me get my camera on. Okay.
Welcome, welcome. I've actually got Dorian waiting in the next room. So just reminder, I'll go through my intros. Do you guys have your scorecards handy?
We do. It's an invite. Thank you.
Perfect. All righty, let me let her in. Hi, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you hear?
I hear you. I think my headphones are connected. Hold on.
That always happens with my AirPods. They always connect to the wrong thing. Like, what are you guys doing?
Okay, so this is going to sound crazy. I don't know how to disconnect them, so I'm just going to have to work through the headphones. Is that okay for you guys?
That's perfect. We hear you fine.
Okay, well, technology.
Welcome. Welcome to your virtual pitch for Cantu Elevate. We're super excited to have you here. I have Elizabeth Cates and Sabrina Lynch with us today as your judges. And we're just overall so appreciative that you are participating in our Cantu Elevate program. Today, you are here for a chance to win a $20,000 grand prize. So good luck. Yeah, so I will go ahead and hand it off to you to introduce yourself, your company. You have 15 minutes for your pitch, and then we've got 5 minutes of Q&A for any questions.
Perfect. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. This is an amazing opportunity to present my vision for Undefined and really undefining what the beauty and wellness space looks like. So if you have questions on the way, are you going to be able to pulse in, or should we wait for the questions at the end? I want to make sure I'm staging it right.
We'll do questions at the end.
Okay, sounds good. Well, let's jump right in. So hello, I'm Dorian Morris, founder and CEO of Undefined, which is clean, conscious, inclusive plant magic. My mission with the brand is to truly democratize beauty and destigmatize and demystify plant-based solutions like adaptogens, but do so in a way that feels really fresh, unapologetic, uncompromising. For me, it's about undefining and rethinking what beauty looks like. Historically, the beauty and wellness space had one face, and she was skinny, blonde, affluent, white. And I believe we all deserve access to high quality products that don't cost your firstborn child. So I created Undefined to really bridge that gap by elevating amazing performance-driven formulas, but at accessible mass prices, but also to simplifying, the beauty and wellness journey. So who am I and why am I qualified to do this? So UCLA undergrad, Harvard Business School educated, started my career at Macy's in their buying office. So I am a retail vet. I also have worked across CPG, so General Mills, food marketing specifically. Then I was an early employee at Cantu, which was a division of Sephora at the time, really building these white space brands to win within the Sephora ecosystem. I then went to Sundial, working on a really cool brand called Madame C.J. Walker in its first iteration, which had launched at Sephora. And then I was part of the CoverGirl team that once P&G had divested it to Coty before launching Undefined. So I've kind of worked across the space over the past 15 years, really building brands for other people, but I felt that there was something missing in the industry, and that was inclusivity, authenticity, the courage to do things differently, and that's what gave me the fire to build Undefined. So 4 pillars, I mentioned they're clean, conscious, inclusive, plant magic. So clean, I take a clinical approach, meaning I take the ancient plant wisdom that Mother Nature has blessed us with, and I pair it with known clinically proven actives, so you're not having to compromise on performance. Conscious capitalism, I will tell you about in a second, so we're going to put a pin in that. Inclusive, for me, inclusivity is broader than just the color of your skin. It's really about bringing people into the conversation because maybe they don't know where to start, so there's an information gap, or they can't afford it, so there is an economic gap that I'm solving for. But I also take it one step further and use diverse illustrations across my packaging that actually tie back to either the ingredient story or the end benefit, to really amplify some of this amazing plant wisdom that has a cultural context, almost to decolonize beauty. Plant magic. So I do live at the intersection of beauty and wellness, and it's really about elevating these really cool ingredients that have their heritage elsewhere. And then conscious capitalism is very important to my model, which means across my supply chain, I partner with female-founded, minority-owned, and LGBTQ business because I'm a strong believer that business empowers business. And so it really is reinforcing this model that you can do well and do good at the same time through me voting with my dollar as a business owner. A little snapshot of some of those people that are part of my ecosystem. I will be very transparent that I am still a team of one who is self-funded. So you see these beautiful faces, they are all contractors. And I just brought on the White literally 2 weeks ago as a part-time support for, so most of the things I've been doing to date have all been kind of the blood and sweat and tears on my solo back, but it's been a fun journey. I launched in 2018, so I'm now entering my 4th year of business. I've also had the amazing opportunity to have some amazing programs I've been part of. Brain Trust is one of them, but also have some mentors that are either bosses or friends across the space that have been really great sounding boards as I think about strategy. And I'm all about listening to my community and pivoting. So there's definitely been some pivot points over the past 4 years. And I've been a part of some really cool accelerators like Target Takeoff. I'll call out as one. I'm currently the Third Love TLFX Fellow. So a lot of opportunities to really hone and sharpen my iron as I think about growing my business. So I will flag that I haven't spent any money on marketing. Well, also because I don't really have deep pockets because I'm self-funded. So all of my growth to date has been organic and really building a community and using that as both a consumer insight tool, but also just them being kind of the word of mouth and being brand ambassadors for me. And I've had the opportunity to have a lot of really amazing coverage, all organically, with the exception of I did bring on a publicist for the past 6 months to help guide one of my launches, but that contract is now over. So I'm kind of back to doing the PR myself. But yeah, I've had the amazing opportunity to really tell my story in ways that hopefully resonates with the community. As I think about Plant Magic, it's really about adaptogens, which are at a high level tools to help you adapt to stress. The way that Undefined brings that to life is because they, adapt to what we individually need. It is a customized experience without being a customized formula. Everything I do is problem solution oriented. So it's solving for 1 or 2 pinch points that I've heard across my community. I am building cross category. Like I want to be a lifestyle brand where people trust coming to Undefined for all their needs. Currently, I have skincare, ingestibles, but I do have hair care and some hybrid products in the pipeline. And then everything is priced accessibly. So on the R&R collection, which we'll talk about, everything's under $30. And I'm actually working on something new and exciting coming down the pipeline that will likely be everything under $15. As I think about democratizing beauty being really core to my pillar. And, we are kind of moving into this, recessionary environment. So I want to make sure that accessibility stays top of mind for my community. I'm going to breeze through a lot of this. I know we have very limited time. So the R&R collection I launched last year. It was my first foray outside of CBD. I started in 2018 focusing on the plant magic and plant wisdom of CBD. And last year I shifted to adaptogenic mushrooms, focusing on R&R, which is not rest and relaxation. It's actually more active. It's the ability of these really cool adaptogens and mushrooms to rescue, repair, reset, and replenish your skin barrier. So at the end of the day, it's really focusing on your skin health and giving you the tools to tackle modern day stress, and stress coming from sun exposure, pollution, just the stress of living through this COVID, now post-COVID world. And so it's really about giving my community the tools that they can thrive. From a distribution standpoint, Whole Foods was my first partner last year. I'm full chain with them. This February, I launched with Target. I go on air with HSN about once a month. I'm part of their Big Find program. I'm also in about 450 vitamin shops, so really talking to the wellness warrior. And then confidentially, amongst these, 4 walls, I will be doing a test with CVS in the fall in their beauty IRL stores, and then I'll be launching in about 660 Ultas. So I'm very excited about that partnership because it'll be my first actual, beauty partner, where some of these other, retail partnerships, beauty is more of the tangential. And so really excited about, building a strategy so I can win within Ulta. And then also confidentially exploring some other interesting partnerships for 2023 and beyond. Here's the assortment, kind of a snapshot. I always love this slide because it really shows the beauty of diversity in action. And, I strongly believe that, representation matters, and seeing is believing is becoming. So like really having these diverse illustrations on package is something that's important to me. And I get so many messages of people that find me either at Target or Whole Foods, and they're like, this is the first time they feel like, they're seen. And so I do think that this is kind of one key pillar of differentiation. I also worked really hard to ensure that the packaging is very educational in purpose. So that way, as they pick up the box and they read more about both my story, but also the ingredients, they can walk away learning, what does tremella mushroom do? What does niacinamide do? So that way there's a learning opportunity with the unit carton, as well as the beautiful illustrations. These are just the products I'm going to breeze through. I did want to stop here for a second. So as I mentioned, I'm building cross category. So with skincare being the predominant right now, I also have some really interesting ingestible products, specifically focusing on relaxation and gut health, because a lot of things that are skincare focused actually start in your gut. But I also have this new collection that I'm ideating around that will be a very different ingredient story, but building towards the $10 to $15 retail price point, which I think will be unlock a lot of growth opportunities to really target a consumer that, you know, maybe doesn't have the disposable income to pay $28 for a serum, which is where I'm currently playing. So really excited about that opportunity and building in a way that it's going to be incremental, that you would actually shop across collections based on the individual product form. And I also have hair care in the pipeline. Hair care is near and dear to my heart, and so I'm really excited to be expanding into that category as well. So that is all that is undefined in a snapshot. I do hope that with this program, we can democratize beauty together and really, you know, change kind of the game. Like it's been, things are evolving, we will say. And I think that people are recognizing that there's more to, you know, supporting brands than just the product. It's about their ethos. It's about purpose. It's so much more. And so I'm just really excited about the opportunity that this partnership can bring, and the $20,000 and what that can do to actually help me drive, you know, brand awareness, but also invest back into my supply chain. As you guys probably know, like we're living through supply chain chaos right now. And so some of this will, if I was to win, would invest in some of the product renovations that I'm working on, as well as some of the innovation that's in the pipeline. So that is undefined. I'm going to stop sharing so that way you guys can ask any questions.
Well, Elizabeth, you're on mute.
As I was talking, I realized that I was on mute, which is like, it's kind of my brand, to be honest. I'm always on mute. I was just going to say, thank you so much. That was incredible. I'm so intrigued by the actual product, so I'm really into skincare, and always have been. And I'm pretty into, what many call woo.
I'm very woo-woo as well. So
yeah. So and I know about the adaptogens and the mushroom side of that, but I know them for your gut health, but I don't know about them from a skincare product standpoint. Can you explain a little bit more about the benefits and sort of your value prop, and how that works on what I'm assuming is sort of your lead category, which is the skincare, right?
yeah, so at a high level, adaptogens are stress modulators, and your skin being an organ, the role of these adaptogens are really to help balance and bring things back to homeostasis. And for me, the way that I thought about developing this line, it really is focusing on your barrier support, your skin barrier, because it's not about 20 steps, you know, Korean skincare regimen. It shouldn't be complicated. A lot of my products are multitasking, so they actually do multiple things in kind of one product form through eliminating some steps in your process. But it's also about like really focusing on the actives as well. So every single ingredient is going to be paired with an active and a plant wisdom. So like, for example, let's use a cleanser since I have it right here. This has, well, from the inclusivity standpoint, it has a beautiful Asian American illustration because from an ingredient story standpoint, it has gotu kola, it has green tea, it has shiitake mushroom, which has its heritage in traditional Chinese medicine. But on the active side, it has niacinamide, which is amazing across skin types and tones to help refine your pores, to help with hyperpigmentation. And so it's, you know, building the both together and making sure that things are reinforcing themselves. So you'll see niacinamide as kind of a hero active ingredient across every single product in the R&R line, with the exception of one, because it is an oil-based product and niacinamide is a water-based ingredient. And then the other ingredient that lives across, with the exception of that one product, is tremella mushroom, which is actually nature's hyaluronic acid. So it's this juicy, I actually, I just threw it away. I have it in my fridge. It's this very juicy, gelatinous mushroom it's a humectant. So it actually draws in moisture from the air, just like hyaluronic acid, but in a natural way. And so it's really elevating some of these really cool ingredients from that nature has blessed us with, that actually it's the origin story for some of these actives that you chemically create, in the laboratory. And so creating them together, but really educating around skin health and barrier support.
Yeah. Amazing. That's great. I mean, I think there's a story to tell there, because I think even the people who are either like traditional skincare people, which by democratizing it and putting in the price point that you have it feels like you are sort of playing more to a mainstream audience, which is great from a growth and a sort of a potential consumer perspective for you. But like, there's education there, because like they're going to go, what is this? And I don't know, because I know a lot about it, but I don't know about it for skin. And then you've got the woo who are like, I know all about it, but like, you know, is this the collagen that of 5 years ago that everyone was telling me had to be in, like, you know, my foot scrub? Like, I don't understand. So, you know, I think there's education on both sides, but I think it's a really unique product. Like, I've
Thank
not
you so
seen anything
much.
like it, which I think is just a huge opportunity.
And I wanted to make sure that it felt elevated, because a lot of the brands that are in this, we'll call it herb-based space or adaptogens, it's intimidating. Like, there'll be like 100 different adaptogens, and you don't know how they're going to work together. And so I really wanted to keep it simple and really help guide people in a accessible, both from a price point, but just information accessibility. It's easy to digest and understand. The ingestible product that I'm working on, I'm super excited about. It's a, right now they're called R&R Bites. They are microdose mushroom, little fruit bites. So almost like an elevated fruit snack that has ashwagandha, reishi, tremella mushroom, and sea moss. So sea moss as an ingredient, I'm not sure if you're a sea moss user, but amazing mineral rich ingredient, has its heritage. You know, St. Lucia, I think, is the best place to get sea moss, but maybe I'm biased. But if you think about, you know, buying it raw and doing it yourself, it's hard. It's kind of gross. Like, the texture is like slime. And so like, I want to make it a easy way for people to incorporate some of these amazing ingredients. But like, for me, form factor is important. So doing it in a delicious fruit forward bite, so that way you can get all the benefits. So I'm kind of tricking you into the benefits by this delicious experience that you're having. So
yeah, no, I mean,
making it palatable.
I feel like even your packaging, I mean, just to be honest, I love it feels accessible and elevated. So I think, or even more than those two words, maybe approachable is better, because I also think that there's sort of a medicinal and almost too in the weeds version of woo that is like intimidating in a different way. You know, and then there's also a price point issue with those products. So I think that's another one that, again, I think you're going to be really talking more to an entry level, to that type of product customer, who may not even know they need it based on where you're on shelf. Frankly, like, I mean, if you were in like an organic food store and like front and center only, I'd say, sure, they all know what they're looking at, but like, you know, you're in mainstream. So that is a huge opportunity, but also there's some education there. And it seems like your price point. What are the price point on most of your products? Like, what's sort of your average?
Around $28. So if you think about where this lives within Target, I'm in natural skincare. I am the highest price point in the category. So I do think marketing is going to be important. I haven't done anything yet. I've got to build a strategy out for it, because it can't just be a build and they're going to come. So there is a little bit of education story to tell the value proposition of what you're getting. Because like, the competitive set's probably in that, call it $15 to $20 price point, and 20 being kind of the higher end. And so like, why does Undefined warrant that extra couple of dollars? And so it's telling the ingredient story, but also everything else and the intention and the purpose driven, you know, model that I'm trying to elevate. And, you know, that comes at a cost, right? Because I don't want to shortchange all of my diverse suppliers. Like, the whole point is to create this model that is self-fulfilling, that I'm giving fair wages to my suppliers that are, you know, women owned, minority owned, LGBTQ, and, you know, companies that haven't historically been given a seat at the table. Like, my perspective is, okay, we weren't given a seat, we're going to create our own table. So I'm going to invest into those businesses so we can all win. Sorry, my headphones just fell.
No, it's fine. I can totally hear you. That's fantastic. And I think even that messaging, there's a huge story to be told, which is the good news. I think you're going to have the problem, which is not really a problem, which is an embarrassment of riches, that you have a lot of really good things to say, and you're going to need to figure out exactly what that target audience wants to hear. And
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, again, all the makings are here, and it feels like you've got, you know, from a distribution standpoint, you're on your way. From a packaging standpoint, you're on your way. You know, I'm excited for where you could go with this for sure. Sabrina, did you have anything you wanted to ask or add?
Yes, yeah, I do. First of all, thank you for your time. Thank you for taking us through that presentation. I just had a couple of questions. I think more so for clarity on my side is, who is this audience? And the reason why I ask this is that I'm just thinking about that customer journey when you go in store or when you go online. And obviously, if you're from like diverse, first of all, you have the diverse skin types. Then you have the diverse skin needs. And then you have the diverse cultures who have different needs of that. So I am just love a little bit, again, a clarity of who specifically is your audience. Not saying that what you're sharing is everything to everyone and it's plant-based, but I'm also trying to think about, again, what's the filter here to with the price point that you have is, I'm not too sure who's that matching up with right now.
Yeah, so from a packaging standpoint, because I do have the diverse illustrations, I did incorporate, and it's, we'll use this one. Well, it might be hard for me to show you, but I do call out all skin types and tones on the packaging. So that way, if someone comes to the shelf and doesn't see themselves represented in this product, they'll still know that it was developed across diverse need states, as well as, and I'm actually in the process of making shifts, but every product on the side panel has, what is this going to do? Like, what are the benefits? Which I'm actually in the process of shifting to the front of package as opposed to the side of package. So that way, outside of just the illustration, they can be shopping based on what is this going to do? You know, because I think people shop more so for their need state and not necessarily the ingredient story, which is where my hypothesis was at first. But in terms of who is shopping, so she is a, I will say, what's the right way to, slightly older millennial, so like on that cusp. She's looking to make swaps, so it's like a little bit better for you. She's not the crunchy granola girl. Like, she's looking for like these small shifts she can make. She is focused a bit more on, you know, not just shopping to shop, but like being very purposeful in her decisions. The one thing that I will flag though, which has been interesting, is that with the launch of Target, I also launched a new product called R&R Sun Serum, which is a mineral-based tinted SPF, which has quickly become my number one SKU. I can't keep it in stock. It's actually painful that I'm cutting cases to Target and Whole Foods, like painful, just because supply chain and the demand has 100% exceeded the supply. And it's interesting. A lot of it's being driven, because again, I'm not marketing it, by these influencers, we're going to use air quotes, influencers that have discovered the brand, fallen in love with it. They post about it. There are 2-3 that have been big drivers of business. There's this white dermatologist out of Houston named Dr. Dre. She does a lot of videos within, like, you know, drugstore and whatnot. I just blindly, I follow her on Instagram, or on YouTube, because she has a lot of really good education. I'm an ingredient snob. Like, I love learning about ingredients and like staying up to date. And she had a PO box on her YouTube, and I just randomly sent her some product. And I was like, you know, this might go into nowhere, but she, you know, opened it, loved it, posts about it all the time. And I see a huge spike every single time because she's a dermatologist, so she has the credibility. The other surprising person, and I only found out because someone sent it to me, because with YouTube, you can't necessarily see, you're not tagged per se. There is this fabulous woman. Her name is Hot and Flashy. I have no idea how she discovered the brand, where she lives. She's like a middle-aged white woman who's just like fly. She talks about like menopause and things like that. She has driven also a lot of growth. So like now with the Sun Serum product, I think that's shifting probably the age range as well as just who is shopping. And this has all just been organic, which is lovely. But I do think that as I, you know, hopefully raise money, I can actually, you know, build a strategy to support, you know, influencer marketing, which I believe that's where everything is shifting, as well as TikTok, because I'm not currently on TikTok. So again, Team Milan doing everything. I do think that as a channel will be very powerful to the brand and the storytelling element that it could provide. So I don't know if that answered your question or not.
No, like the beginning part, yeah. And then we talked about, it touched upon like again, like important parts where you're talking about the marketing. Then my next question is not so much marketing related, but again, I do strongly believe that there is an absolute need for this at the moment, where people are again thinking of a more holistic, if that's the appropriate word to use, of overall wellness. And I'm curious again with you've got such a multiple, and congratulations again, multiple range of products, and I'm just using the cue that you were talking about your serums, is how are you deciding which products are the ones to channel the budget behind, the supply, because there is so much out there, or perhaps you haven't found that to be as much as a challenge as I may believe it to be?
Well, yeah. So from a demand planning standpoint, again, I will be the first to say that I didn't think the Sun Serum was going to do by far what it was doing. And again, I am a small brand, so I'm doing small runs. So we're talking like 5,000 at a time here as I'm managing just the cash flow. And it's actually given me a lot more confidence to invest in inventory, just seeing kind of what this has been doing organically, like for, full transparency here, because I'm now out of stock in my warehouse. Like today I get my Target orders every Tuesday, and like, it was painful to know that they're trying to order 3,000 units, which is almost $50,000 in retail, like in wholesale, and I just can't support it, which just comes down to not having enough money from an investment standpoint to invest in more inventory to support things like this. And so it's definitely been a learning. Prior to Sun Serum launching, when I was just Whole Foods as a channel, my day serum, which is the brightening serum, was actually the #1 performer. $28 price point, and really focusing on not just the benefits of vitamin C, because there's a bazillion vitamin C's in the market, but it's got alpha-arbutin, it's got kojic acid, it's got niacinamide. So it has 3 other very powerful actives that are going to really help to, fight hyperpigmentation and, acne scarring, as well as the tremella mushroom and some of these other plant-based solutions, licorice root, which is another great brightener, noni fruit. And so it's really, balancing the best of both worlds, chemical actives as well as the naturals, and, has done really well to the brand.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're a little over time, but that's all good. We are so excited that you got to pitch for us. This was really amazing. And thank you so much for participating in the program. We are going to go through our evaluation period internally, and we, of course, will be following up with you on next steps as far as, if you win or not. So keep an eye out for that. We will be in touch. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. And, we wish you all the success in the world.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah. And I will also, just sorry, a little side note, if you guys have a booth at Essence Festival, I will be there in 2 weeks, and I will definitely pop by, and hopefully I can see people in person. So.
Oh yeah, we're having separately. Cantu is having our Elevate live pitches happening at the Founders House event that we're throwing at Beyonce. So we can follow up with more information.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to seeing everyone IRL very soon.
Yeah, I would love that.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Dorian.
Bye.